Yes. So I want to react to a Steven Crowder video. I want to give you guys some commentary. And this is another way of identity politics play a role into how we view the world.
Point is, they wanted to keep him out.
How we disseminate information is that when you say truths that is based on identity, like for instance, the video you're going to watch is student can't handle racist stat about superior black athletes, right? When it's the truth. But it sounds racist because you point out black people, even though in the NBA, 74% of the players in the NBA are black, right? And there's realistic, real science reasons for why blacks tend to be superior athletes, and also why blacks tend to be athletes, right? I say it's the culture. You'll find a black kid more likely to be practicing for a basketball team at like playing basketball at 2 years old before he can even walk. He has a ball in his hand. The same way you'll find an Asian already studying calculus by the time he turns 10. Like it's behavior. Behavior and culture plays a part into why these outcomes happen. And people's assumption is the minute you bring in a stat about identity, people are going to go, oh my God, you're being racist. Even if it's facts, even if it's based on things that are just not merely based on the color of skin, is you're just identifying a group. And I think identity is two ways. It's something you're a part of in an abstract way, like, hey, I'm an American. I'm a nationalist view. And then you got a racial genetic view. But I digress. I think I'm rambling too much, guys. Let's get into the video.
Because we knew that there was some black speed and power, my friend.
I feel like that's extremely racist to say.
Really? To say that black people are better athletes than white people in certain sports?
I think so, yeah.
Really? Have you watched an NBA game?
I'm not going to say either way.
Is it racist to say that the majority of the NBA is black?
I'm not going to say either way.
Is it racist for me to say that black people are typically better at basketball than the average white person?
I have no idea. I don't know the statistics.
Do you consider a biological male if the sporting organization, the governing body, says you have to compete with biological males, or in a third division, an intergender division, but not with biological females? You see that as discrimination?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so your solution is to let
exactly
so you do have a solution, is to let biological males compete with women.
I think I could compare your point to mine, where you'd see in the back segregation, right?
In the what?
Segregation.
Okay, yes.
Or any colored people in the United States. There's a different baseball league for both. Would you not call that discrimination?
Yeah, of course that's discrimination by definition, yeah. And then all of a sudden when I can say this because former Vice President Joe Biden said at the United Negro League, once they mixed it, guess what? There weren't too many great white baseball players.
I believe there still is.
There are some, but the point is, they wanted to keep him out because we knew that there was some black speed and power, my friend.
So that's the point I try to make, is that there's a differentiation, right? I think identity is like something important, right? But I think there needs to be a ladder of priorities of what we consider, like what are our go-to assumptions when an outcome happen, right? Because right now, how we currently view identity is we see it as the primary cause of disparity, right? Okay, black kids tend to be better athletes than white kids. Why is that? It's a genetic component, right? It's not merely because they're black, in my view. It's merely, hey, like these people come from, like, if you look at Africa, harsh climate. So physical wise, these to survive in that climate, you have to be physically more athletic to survive in those warmer, hot climates. If you're a fat person, you go out in some hot summer, bro, you dying out there, right? Like if you stay in a warm climate, you're more likely to be lean, right? You have less body fat, aka you insulate less heat. You living like you Gucci over there in a hotter climate. But if you take that same lean, mean fighting machine person and you put them in a cold, an area that's tend to be cold, they'll be shaking like a leaf. Opposite example, you put a fat person in colder weather, they'll be more adaptive handling it because fat insulates heat. But if I put that same fat person in a hotter climate, they're sweating their A off. So I don't know. I think it's both ways, it's nature, nurture, what came first. I just think it's a in the middle, right? I think there's some validity that genetics do play a big role in why black people tend to be superior athletes, but I just think it's our body composition, It's a lot of factors, but yes, I do agree that genetically, the results speak for itself. All you have to do is look at the outcome. There's a reason why the NBA is 74% black. Now it's becoming a little bit more internationalized, right? The only white players that I know are from the international leagues, for the most part anyway. But there's something to that. The results speak for itself. And you pretty much, what liberals hate about people saying, oh, black people tend to be better athletes, is the fact that they confuse pattern recognition with racism. And I think that's what's going on right now in identity politics, is that when you recognize an identity, hey, Asian kids are smart. That's pattern recognition, because who's overrepresented in Yale? Asians, even though they're a minority group. Who has higher income on average? Asians, even though they're a minority group. It's pattern recognition. And just because you recognize that pattern, a liberal or someone who believes in identity politics will call you racist for assuming that because of someone's skin color, when all you're doing is playing the odds. I have a high likelihood of success of being right if I think this Asian person's a smart kid. Pattern recognition. That's what's going on here. I digress, guys. I digress.
I feel like that's extremely racist to say.
Really? To say that black people are
Absolutely.
better athletes than white people in certain sports?
I think so, yeah.
Really? Have you watched an NBA game?
I'm not going to say either way.
Is it racist to say that the majority of the NBA is black?
I'm not going to say either way. I don't
Is
know
it
the
racist for me to
statistics.
say that black people are typically better at basketball than the average white person?
I have no idea. I don't know the statistics.
I guess by definition it's racist, but I don't think that you would find a single black person here who disagrees.
I think that's a pretty broad point you're making. And obviously, I'm not one to say I'm not a person of color.
Well, you just said it's racist, so you did speak on
I
behalf
would
of
call
black
it
people.
racist, absolutely.
To say that black people they make up a
To say
higher
that-
percentage of the NBA than white people.
No, to say that they're... that's not what you said.
In general,
Sure. What did you exactly say?
let me give you a different one. In general, black people, black males, at the elite level are faster than white males.
I feel like that's a racist statement. Like,
Have you checked any of the land speed records?
See, like, it's not a racist statement to say that. It's pattern recognition. If you recognize a pattern, just the same way, like, when I make my points about how when black kids or black students disproportionately fail at math, right? If you look at the National Education Association, 12 black high school students who graduate from high school have a lower proficiency rate than in math than other groups of people. You're gonna say, oh, the math test must be racist. No, I would say, hey, look, it's pattern recognition. Black kids tend to not take school as seriously as other groups of people does, right? There's a reason why black males don't graduate college at the same rate as black women. See, two people from the same race, but you see how their outcomes are two different things. You're not going to say that the college system is sexist towards black men if black women are graduating with college degrees at a higher and disproportional rate than black males. This is where it's just pattern recognition, right? And this is where identity politics kind of fails, is that people don't dig any deeper past the superficial. Identity politics is a superficial metric to judge outcomes and actions. Hey, okay, there must be more to it. Oh, these people just happen to be black. That's how I tend to look at identity. Well, I digress. I'll give it a few more minutes and then I'll move on to the next video.
I don't know the
Look at the
statistics,
top
of
10.
course.
You're not going to find a Whitaker. You're
I
not
see
going
what
to
you're
find
saying.
an
I don't
Irish last
agree.
name. You don't agree,
I don't agree
with the world
your
records.
statement. Your statement.
My statement that at the elite level, black males tend to run faster times than white males.
That's not what you said.
At the elite level, black males are faster than white males.
That's not what you originally said.
That is what I said.
In this past point, but earlier, your statement was the characteristics of black people versus any other person.
That black people tend to
I'm
be
not-
more
I'm not
successful
saying
in
that.
athletics than white people, yes.
I'm not saying the statistics are racist. I'm saying you're
Just like if I said, hey, Asian people tend to be more successful in academics, tend to make more money, and tend to have better credit scores than other group of people. For me, assuming that doesn't make me racist. It means I observe reality. And I think there needs to be a big difference between this.